I went to an antique bottle show last month and ran into an old buddy, Larry, from Nevada, and I was the very lucky recipient of a box full of vintage VHS tapes. I couldn't believe the stuff in here. It looks like it's only, 6 tapes, but there's about 10 or 15 shows in here. So they're really cool. Some of them are just owner's manuals, like the White's MXT on VHS owner's manual. The Spectrum's in here somewhere from White's. But some of these are loaded with multiple different shows. First one, this video today is going to be for this show right here. This is a show called Treasure Search, and this is the Complete Coin Hunter Volume 2. And I think that everybody featured in this video is now deceased. Like I said, they were older gentlemen, and this is 40 years ago. The companies that produced all of these are all gone. They no longer exist. These are just going to be lost to eternity. There may be other versions of these out there, a couple of these on YouTube already, but what I did is I converted these from VHS to digital, flew them into my video editing software, and I remastered them. I did as much as I could to improve the audio and the video quality for you guys. So I'm gonna drop these shows once a week for you guys. If you wanna see all these shows as they come out and you wanna be notified, you have to subscribe for that. Go down and hit the subscription button down below and you'll get a notification every time I drop one of these really cool vintage VHS tapes. I had a great time just putting these together and making the videos for you guys to watch. I loved every second of watching these. They are an absolute treasure in themselves. So let's go ahead and get started with, like I said, the Complete Coin Hunter Volume 2. 40 years old, guys. Here we go.
Treasure. There are very few of us who can resist the lure of gold, silver, and precious jewels. But indeed, treasure comes in many forms, as you can see here. From antique bottles to tokens and other collectibles, the possibilities are unlimited. Hello, I'm Bob Trevillian.
And I'm Frank Carter.
Welcome to Treasure Search. The unfortunate thing about the concept of searching for treasure is that the vast majority of those who we call the armchair adventurers can only envision millions of dollars in Spanish plunder, salvaged from the ocean bottom by professional divers. Their dream of treasure was lost somewhere between pages of books like the Hardy Boys, read by flashlight after midnight beneath the bed covers. But there is a loose fraternity of people from coast to coast, of all ages and walks of life, who have discovered that treasure hunting, in its most basic form, is for anyone and everyone. With a sophisticated little gadget known as a metal locating instrument, or metal detector if you prefer, They explore the cities, towns, the countryside, and even their own backyards in search of lost treasure. Simply put, they call themselves the coin hunters. An old abandoned farmhouse, the perfect site for coin hunting on a crisp October morning. Over the years, the farm had been used for many purposes, including a riding school. But now the stable and barn were nothing more than decaying landmarks of what once was. Fortunately, our electronic gear holds no animosity toward the condition of the surrounding architecture, and we were just anxious to press our metal detectors into action. It didn't take long to hit pay dirt. My first signal resulted in a large copper trade token. Still searching in front of the farmhouse, moments later I unearthed a silver Walking Liberty 50-cent piece dated 1943. Fortunately for the coin hunter, lost or buried silver usually keeps its luster even after decades of soil exposure. While I continued to explore the area around the house, Frank decided to search the dirt floor of the old barn. miniature Liberty Bell, issued during the United States Centennial, rested only inches beneath the soil. By late that afternoon, we had both managed to dig enough coins and collectibles to make the trip well worth the effort. Frank and I would probably visit the farm for at least one more hunt, but that would have to wait for another day. As coin hunters go, Don Firmanek is a relative newcomer to the field. But in a short period of time, he's managed to recover a vast array of lost valuables. He finds electronic metal detecting to be the perfect pastime, the best possible combination of adventure and reward. Don, this is certainly an impressive display of treasure, to say the least. How many years have you been at this?
Well, I'll tell you, Bob. I've been in a little over 5 years, and I'm well satisfied with what I've found so far within the time that I've been in it.
What got you involved in treasure hunting, or coin hunting in particular?
Well, I've seen the different metal detectors advertised a few years ago, and I've also seen people in parks and beaches and such, and I've often thought to myself, man, it looks like a lot of fun. So I figured, well, I'm just going to take and get one. And finally the day come where I did have one. And
so how often would you say that you hunt?
Well, I normally take and get at as much as I can. I take and normally average, a couple times a week, a few hours a day.
So you have a full-time job and this is your weekend hobby?
Right, yeah, mostly, yeah.
What would you say, as far as your oldest find, what would you say was your oldest find to date?
Definitely a colonial coin. The date of it is worn, and it's not identifiable as a date to it, but it's definitely colonial, so which puts it in the 17s. Somewhere, I imagine somewhere about 1780s, 90s, somewhere through there.
Interesting. And what type of site were you at? Were you located at?
This was a private residence. A friend of mine that took gave me permission to take and hunt it.
It must have been a fairly old residence then.
Well, it was not really that old. The house was, I believe, built in the 40s. But it was near an old inn that took and probably gave it its location to it,
Sure. Overall, what type of sites do you find are most promising for this type of thing?
Well, providing I get permission, I normally like the church sites, the old church sites.
The old church sites.
Right.
How about schools?
Schools, yeah. Any schools that date back, 30s, early 40s, such as that, they're always promising.
Mm-hmm. Do you find yourself updating your equipment fairly routinely?
I try to. I try to take and keep up with what's going on. When you get into the metal detectors itself, you can talk some big buck items,
Sure.
And I say I take and I have not the cheapest and definitely not the best. I'm probably about in the middle somewhere.
Let me ask you this, Don. Do you do a lot of research for your spots, or are you more or less a looker?
More or less a looker.
A looker. Yeah, as opposed to sitting down in the library and going through books or going through any type of historical research that you can get your hands on. You're more of a rider and a looker.
Right, and a listener.
And a listener. Very good. Very good.
Looks like you got some fairly nice diamond gold pieces here.
Yeah, some of the rings that I have found are right pretty. Like I like this one here. Every once in a while I'll slip that on and wear it. It's a
really
14 karat gold, and this once in a while I'll take and I wear either different jewelry that I find.
This type of earring, they made these back in the 20s. That was during the Depression days when they made this stuff here. That's beautiful. Did you find the other one?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, when I took and I found them, they were both in the same hole. Here's the other one. Yeah.
Both earrings in the
Both
same
earrings
hole.
in the same hole. Evidently, the woman that took them had them took and dropped them from her purse or whatever, and that's where they stayed. Drop along.
Let me ask you this: Do you hunt by yourself, or do you get your family involved in it, or friends, or?
Well, I have a cousin that I travel with a lot, and I also have a couple of brothers and a son that's into it. So I'm pretty well, partnered all the time.
So it can really become a family hunt.
Right? Yeah. And as a matter of fact, also my youngest son, he has his own metal detector. Well, he just turned 8, and he takes and plays around with them also.
Do you find that you have to travel far in order to find the things that you have, or are you just hunting basically local?
Basically local. Everything you see here, 99% of it was found within a 15-mile radius of where I live.
I know you've been to places other people's been, haven't you?
Yeah, as Bob took and mentioned before about updating with your equipment and such. The detector I had before, I've been to older church sites, and ones that I thought were worked out. And when I took and I come along with a better detector, I would go back to the same place, and it's like starting all over again.
Oh, wow. There's probably a never-ending lot of this stuff out there.
Yeah, I imagine as the detectors get better and deeper, that people are going to take and go behind me and still find some stuff. So.
Yeah, it amazes me over the years, the advancements in technology. When we first started out some 20 years ago, Frank and I hunting, the instruments were really archaic compared to what they have today. And I would have never envisioned the possibilities that have come down the road. I don't think any of us could have seen that far in advance of what the electronic world was capable of coming up with. Like you said, I've gone back to spots over and over again. With each time a new metal detector comes out that's capable of getting that extra inch and find a whole new layer of treasure waiting there.
Yeah, we were in places we totally thought it was gone. In fact, we was in a place where we knew Indian head pennies should have been way back. And as the newer advances in detectors come along, we got in there and hit them.
Yeah.
So you're going to be taking us somewhere tomorrow. Where are we going?
Well, there's a old church site that I been hunting there for a couple weeks now, and it's been turning out quite a few good old coins.
And we've got permission from the pastor to do this.
Yeah, that's a definite okay there. And the site, I believe, dates to 1859. So there's definitely some older, deeper stuff down there.
Good.
And I think we're gonna have a good day.
Sounds like a winner. I can't wait.
Looking forward to it.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Don had described the church to perfection. Over a century old, the Episcopal architecture was impressive to say the least. Elaborate stained glass windows and an unusual steeple design gave the structure a strong Gothic character. But as coin hunters, we were more impressed by the expansive area that surrounded the church. Bazaars, picnics, and other church-related activities were sure to have taken place there in the past. An excellent opportunity to unearth lost valuables. Frank wasted no time in unearthing an 1893 Liberty Head 5-cent piece, commonly called a V-nickel. The disc of the metal detector that scans the soil is often referred to as the search coil or loop. Keeping it as close to the ground as possible gives the coin hunter maximum depth penetration. When unearthing deeper coins, the searcher opens a plug in the side, locates the coin, and replaces the plug securely. Back of the church, in front of the parsonage, I was happy to locate an ornate religious medallion with an attractive floral design. There's always a special thrill to digging a piece of gold jewelry. There's just something special about this rare yellow metal that makes your pulse quicken when it first comes out of the ground. For thousands of years, men have pursued it. Nothing has changed. Gold is still the treasure hunter's dream. The unmistakable gleam of silver. A Liberty 25-cent piece minted at the turn of the century. An item as simple as an old skeleton key is fast becoming popular with collectors. When a coin hunter encounters a signal that indicates an object very close to the surface, many times he uses a simple probe to pop the item out of the soil. Although I hadn't managed to unearth a large volume of coins and other collectibles at the church that day, the religious medal and a silver Coast Guard dog tag were quality items. Since old churchyards are so prevalent throughout the country, assuming the hunter can gain the proper consent to search, vintage coins, antique jewelry, and a myriad of other valuables are waiting only inches beneath the soil. There's no question that the most valuable tool that the coin hunter uses today is the metal detector. The basic metal detector has two components, a control box and a search coil, which is connected by a shaft. The control box is used by the operator to make the proper settings, which are relayed to the search coil. The search coil then locates the coin or metallic object and relays that signal back to the control box and hence to the operator. But this is just a basic unit. Frank, what do we have down there?
Okay, what we have here is a fully automatic type of detector. This one here, you don't even have to set your dials if you don't want to. You can go right out and hunt with it just by turning it on. Naturally, when a pro gets a hold of it, he likes to do a little setting. We have a discriminating control on here that lets you eliminate your junk and how much you want to take out.
And I understand that unit is submersible as well.
Yeah, this unit here is not only submersible, you can go right in the water with it, you can come right back and hunt land with it.
I see, so it actually will do both very well.
Oh yeah, this is really
And
nice
naturally,
unit.
being submersible will be weatherproof also.
Right, this is also this box comes off and you can wear this on your hip if a person feels like it's a little heavy for them.
Very good.
I think it's a very nice unit, does a good job.
Now for the land hunter, we can go one step farther, and although this unit isn't submersible nor weatherproof, it does have what we call an ID meter. And this meter is capable of distinguishing between various treasure items or trash items. It will actually identify nickel, dime, quarter, penny, silver dollar. It will actually distinguish between a pull tab and a screw cap. And with all the other settings, including a 3-inch elimination switch, which eliminates the first 3 inches of soil, this unit is probably capable of handling its own with any unit on the
Oh
market.
yeah, that's also a hip mount unit too, isn't it?
That's true. Once we disconnect these two bolts here, the unit becomes what we call convertible, meaning that it can be worn on the hip or around the neck, and that does give the operator a
I
chance.
know it's a bigger loop on there too.
Yes, he can wade in the water, and also the deeper penetration is achieved by the larger diameter loop. So if we wanted to go one step farther, Frank, where would we go?
Well, we would get into this unit right here, in which there are a few like this out there. This has a sound identifier in it. This has your meter on it that tells you your nickel, dime, penny, quarter. Plus it has a tone that rings out for each one of those sounds that you hit.
And you would say that would be like a different octave for every sound?
Yeah, it's a different octave from the low pitch to a high pitch.
And what's the most valuable aspect of that unit?
Well, this unit here has what we call target select in it. This unit here, you can actually go look for a certain item out there.
I see. So, for instance, if a friend said, I've lost my gold ring in the yard, you could actually...
I can get a ring similar to his ring, target selected on the machine, and only hunt for that item and knock everything else out.
Interesting. So that unit, above all, is more or less a computer.
Right, this is a computerized unit. It's also set up so the amateur can use it. He can go right on his blue marks and set up. A pro can come by and set it the way he likes it.
The blue marks are actually preset by the
They're
factory.
called a preset,
I
yes.
see.
It's a super unit.
Well, there's no question that with all the detectors that we see here and many more on the market, how many would you say is out there,
Well,
Frank?
I would say there's over 500 units on the market.
500 units worldwide.
Yes.
With that many different units, there's no question that a coin hunter won't have any trouble selecting something that'll fit him. And with all the advancements in electronics, it just looks like it's a good day for the coin hunter.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You know, I think it's something out there for everyone.
Some say that treasure hunting, be it diving on a sunken galleon or searching for vintage coins, is a series of opportunities lost or found. This is an opportunity found. This elementary school was constructed in the 1930s. A second section was added later. Now, officials have chosen to completely remodel and expand the structure to accommodate the ever-growing student body. But to the coin hunter, the excavation of the grounds around the building could prove to be a godsend. In the past, searchers found many old coins and collectibles here. But the soil is soft, where the heavier valuables tend to sink beyond the detection range of the metal locating instruments. As workers dig and move large amounts of earth here, coins and other metallic objects are brought back to within the scanning ability of the detector. In a construction area of this nature, just about anything is possible. The old coins could be anywhere. The areas where the sod and several inches of soil have been removed offer the best possibilities. But the mounds of dirt, piled for later landfilling operations, can be productive sections as well. Frank has been coming back to this school over and over again, especially after a new metal detector with improved depth capabilities becomes available. But today it's an entirely different experience. Before there was ever a parking lot here, treasure items were lost in the ground and later covered. Now that the blacktop has been removed, an entirely new hunting area is revealed. Some coins and other metallic objects can be found actually lying within eyesight, while others are at the very limit of his detector's scanning range. It's almost as if the entire site was thrown into a blender and then spread back out across the terrain. There is no doubt that schools are one of the premier sites for the coin hunter. The older, the better. This school and chapel happened to be where I spent my elementary years. It's personally offered many hours of enjoyment searching and finding vintage items with a metal detector. It's quite possible that some of those coins and collectibles belonged to me when I was a child. Don't let the modern architecture fool you. Originally, a much smaller school existed here dating back to the 1920s, and the original landscaping can offer a wealth of metallic treasure to the coin hunter. Research is the key here. uncovering the secrets of the past. Many older structures can be found exactly as they were when first built. There's no guessing game here, just an opportunity to swing the search coil of your detector and get down on your knees to discover the lost treasures of yesteryear. Back at the school construction site, Frank is still searching and finding. The most successful coin hunters recognize opportunities like this. Remember the next time you spot a sidewalk being replaced along Main Street in your hometown. You can rest assured that there are valuable items waiting to be found once you are given the opportunity to reach that untouched stretch of earth. It's almost as if a bank vault was being opened for the first time in decades, and you alone have the opportunity to reach in and discover its contents. The afternoon is a long one for Frank, simply because the treasure signals seem endless. Here another Indian head penny surfaces, one of many found at the school site. Suddenly, an audio signal that Frank has learned from experience to recognize as a larger diameter coin or coin-sized item. He's not mistaken. A beautiful picker's check used to pay farmhands in the past is lifted from the soil. This piece is indeed a rarity, as it spells out the entire name of the farm owner and the check's denomination, 5 bushels. An excellent afternoon. Here are just a few of the better items he recovered. But persistence pays off, and Frank continues to search well into the evening, the mark of a truly devoted treasure hunter. If you get the opinion that coin hunting is an adventure reserved for adults, you're mistaken. Children of all ages participate in this hobby. They may be a bit impatient at times, but their excitement is contagious. There's nothing that compares to the look on a child's face when that first silver coin is extracted from the earth. For the youngster, coin hunting can be a wonderful education, as each and every metallic artifact recovered is a history lesson in itself. Although we previously stated that the most valuable tool in the coin hunter's arsenal is the metal detector, there are lots of accessories and lots of helpful items that can really get the job done. Let's start off with headsets. They add privacy, they keep external noise from interfering with your ear. This is a Walkman style, which is airy and quite loose on the head, and this is something that would seal the ear more and is something you might use more in the fall perhaps. As far as digging tools are concerned, if you were to dig in the sand, perhaps along the beach, you would use something that would easily drain the sand from your recovered item, being it a coin or other metallic object. We also have various digging tools. This item sifts and digs as well. We have trowels. These trowels are capable of opening holes through grass and through clay, just about any kind of terrain you would wish to dig in. Here we have a very valuable item. To most, it might look like a plastic frisbee, but what it is a search coil cover. It snaps over the bottom of the search coil and protects that part of your metal detector from being scraped or scratched by gravel, sand, or anything else that you may apply the search coil to. One final item, a larger search coil. The search coil of a metal detector is in actuality a form of an antenna, sending electronic signals and consequently receiving signals in return. A larger coil simply increases the size of the antenna, in essence increasing the scanning range of the detector itself. However, there is an alternative to a larger coil. An attachment referred to as a depth intensifier may be used, which amplifies the audio signal and at the same time increases the detector's sensitivity. There's nothing like the thrill of going to a carnival, especially if you're a kid. The smell of popcorn and cotton candy, the world's biggest Ferris wheel, and the chance to win a stuffed animal. All you have to do is bust a balloon, pitch a penny in a saucer, or wring the neck of a Coke bottle. The neighborhood carnival has been a time-tested tradition throughout the country, a place where people congregate, and consequently a place where people drop coins and other pocket possessions. Now imagine a carnival site, one packed with children and adults alike, each and every year since the turn of the century. If the grounds could talk, what stories they could tell. But indeed, these grounds do talk with the magic of a metal detector, as they reveal the bits and pieces left behind by those who shared the rides, the excitement of the games, and the ecstasy of pizza and French fries. Unless you had actually grown up in this town or passed through during carnival season, you'd probably never guess that this is where all the fun takes place. A quaint little park, most of the time, surrounded by a developing community. Office buildings constantly sprouting up, new roads, a town in the grip of major expansion. A tree, perhaps as old as the carnival itself, is dying and must be removed as a safety precaution. But the grounds remain unchanged, a chance for the coin hunter to hit pay dirt. The first signal indicates that lost treasure lies only inches beneath the soil. The identification meter clearly reads 25 cents. Not a modern coin, but a Liberty quarter dated 1908. An excellent find. Meanwhile, Frank continues to search, zeroing in on a target for excavation. A small lead toy, probably from a box of Cracker Jacks. What was once a surprise for the youngster now becomes a surprise for the coin hunter, an item now considered quite collectible. There are many coins and related coin-sized objects to be found here. Indian head pennies are quite prevalent. Like any park, there are other activities that occur year-round, only adding to the treasure trove left by those drawn to the carnival atmosphere. Silver coins are always a welcome find, since they command bullion value well above their original denominations. Here, a military badge or medal is located. There is a growing fraternity of military buffs today who collect and trade the many relics and artifacts of war. The keys to successful coin hunting are patience, determination, and the joy of seeking and finding. Your imagination can take you to places where treasure is as close as your fingertips. Your metal detector is the instrument that opens the door, revealing the contents of your own private bank vault. What items of value await within this earthen vault, one can only speculate with each target encountered by the amazing metal detector. For the coin hunter, the possibilities are unlimited.
Bob, 2 Barber halves. The twins, the same date.